Hello everybody, my name is Jose Rodriguez. In previous videos, we were able to install a pfSense router for pandalab.com and a Kali Linux system, both attached to the Internet Internal Network. It is time now to work with the Windows systems within pandalab.com. We will start with a Windows Server 2022 system that will act as our domain controller for pandalab.com. Let's start by opening a new tab in your preferred web browser and go to microsoft.com/nen-us/eval-center. There are different Windows systems you can evaluate, but for today's video, we will open the Windows Server 2022 link in a new tab. Here you can read all the information about the Windows Server experience and how to download the ISO file. Let's open this link in a new tab. In order to get the evaluation version for Windows Server 2022, we will need to complete the form on the right side of your screen, and finally, click on the Download Now icon. A new page will show us all the available formats in different languages for our Windows Server 2022 download. For the purpose of this video, we will select the 64 bits file, ISO file in English version. Once the download is complete, we can use this ISO file to create our virtual machine. Let's go to the VirtualBox app and select the Tools icon, and then click on Welcome. And then we can create our virtual machine by clicking on the New Virtual Machine icon here. I will name this machine Domain Controller 01, okay? And I will use the default folder for this virtual machine, okay? Now I need to select the ISO image file. So I will click here and then click on Other. And in the Downloads folder, you will find the ISO file that we just downloaded. And then finally, we just need to click on Open, okay? As you can see, VirtualBox was able to identify the edition for the Windows system, okay, and select the type and version for our server. Also, because of this, VirtualBox is offering us the unattended installation option when creating our virtual machine. But we will skip this option for now, and let's click on Next. Let's use 4 gigabytes or 4096 megabytes for the base memory, and let's go, instead of one, we will use two processors, okay, because since we are working with a server, and then just click on Next to continue. Let's create a virtual hard disk with 100 gigabytes of capacity. So let me update this from 50 to 100. Okay, remember that you need to configure this feature based on your storage capacity. Now let's just click on Next to continue. Check the summary of information for your virtual machine, and if there are not any modifications to do, just click on Finish to create the virtual machine. Before we start the server, let's complete some changes to the settings of the virtual machine. Select the Windows Server, then click on the Settings icon here, and go to the General tab, okay, then the Advanced tab here. Select bidirectional for both shared clipboard and drag and drop options. Okay, so let's go here, bidirectional, and then go to the network menu here. okay? And we need to attach the first network adapter to the NAT network mode, okay? And be sure that pandalab.com is selected. Then just click on OK. Okay, perfect. We are ready now to start our virtual machine. So select the server here, and then just click on Start. And let's wait for VirtualBox to load the ISO file data. Okay, let's use the default values for language, time, and keyboard, and click on Next to continue. Then let's just click on the Install Now icon, and then we just need to wait for the setup to start. Okay, the operating system we will use is the standard evaluation desktop experience. Okay, so let's select this option, which is the second one. If you don't see it, you can increase the width of this column so you can see the entire name. So we are going to use the second one, the standard evaluation desktop experience. And then just click on next to continue. Let's accept the license terms by checking the box here and then click on next. Select the custom installation option, which is the second one here, and then select the virtual hard disk we created before and click on next. So let's click on here and then just click on next to continue. Now we just need to wait for the installer to complete this process. This might take several minutes. Okay, so the installer is right now installing features. They will then it will install updates. So we just need to wait a little bit more. Okay, now the system needs to restart to continue. Okay, now we're almost done with this process. Okay, the the default name for the user is administrator. So let's create and re-enter the password for this user. And then click on finish. Let's wait for the system to finish some settings uh, on the server. Okay, we are now ready to access our server. In order to do that, we will need to press the Control Alt Delete keys shortcut. If you're using a Mac OS system, what you can use is Function, Command, and Delete. Okay, so since I'm using a Mac OS system, I will use Function, Command, and Delete. So we will need to type the password that we just created for the administrator account. Then just hit enter and let's wait for the system to start. If you get a banner at the right side of your screen, uh, that is asking you a question about network discovery options. Let's click on yes. And then we can also close this server manager window. Okay, so great. Our server was installed correctly. And before we continue working with it, let's install the VirtualBox guest additions, and we will also change the name of the device. First, we need to remove the installation media. I'm talking about the ISO file, okay, by using the devices menu here, and then select optical drives, and then remove disk from virtual drive, okay. Now, then we will need to insert the virtual guest additions drive by using again the devices menu, and then select this option here, insert guest additions image. Okay, so now going back to our server, let's open a file explorer window by using the search bar. Okay, so you can type here file explorer. Here is the app, so we can just hit enter. In the left side of the window, you should see the guest additions drive here. Okay, so we can increase the width of this here. So let's just click on it so we can see the content of this drive. Now, we need to make double click on the VBOX Windows Additions executable, which is this one. Okay, so let's make double click on it to start the installation. After reading the welcome message, just click on Next. We will use the default destination folder and click on Next to continue. We will use the default selected components to install and just click on Install to continue. Let's wait for the installation to complete. Perfect. Guest additions were installed correctly. Since we still need to change the name of our device, we will reboot this system later. Okay, so let's select this option and then click on finish. Okay, let's close the File Explorer window, this one, and then click on the Windows icon located at the bottom left of your screen here, and click on the Settings icon or tab. Select the System menu, and then on the left side here, scroll down until you see the About tab, and then click on it. As you can see, the name of the device describes a random sequence of characters. So to change this name, scroll down and click on the Advanced System Settings option. Select the Computer Name tab, then where it says to rename this computer or change its domain or work group, click Change. Okay, select the Change option here, and then the new name for our device will be DC01, which stands for Domain Controller 01. Okay, so we will use DC01. Okay, and then click on OK. You will get a message that says you must restart your computer to apply these changes. So let's click on OK, then click on Close. Okay, now select Restart Now, and just we will need to wait for the server to restart. Okay, so now we need to press the Control Alt Delete sequence of keys to unlock the screen. Remember, if you're using a Mac OS system, you can use the function command and delete combination of keys. Or if you don't want to use your keyboard, what you can also do is if you go to the input menu, you will see a keyboard option, and you can also insert Control Alt Delete um, to the host. Okay, so let's just type the password for the administrator account. So now the server manager application is being loaded. Okay, we can just close this server manager window here. Let's just wait for the server manager application to load completely. Since we have installed guest additions on our server, we can now use the um, we can now use our server in full screen mode. So let's just go here, click on switch, and you can use your server in full screen mode. Okay, now uh, if you open the settings option again, okay, you go here, the Windows icon, and then click on settings. We go to system, and then you click on about. You will see the updated device name here as DC01. Okay. Something else that we can review is the network information for our server. Okay, so let's open a command prompt window by searching for the CMD application. Let's go to the search bar and type CMD. So this is the command prompt application. Let's just hit enter. We'll get a window like this. Let's just increase the size of the font. Let's make right click here, and then properties, then go to font. Then on the size section, you can use, let's use 28 here. Okay, perfect. So we will use the IP config space slash all commands so we can get all the information for our computer. You can see the host name is DC01. The IP uh, the IP address for our server is 192.168.1.5. Okay, and the default gateway is 192.168.1.1, which is, if you remember, is the IP address of our router, our pfSense router. And the DNS server IP is also pointing to the pfSense router. Okay, and finally, before we complete the recording for this video, there is something important that you need to understand. Is that when you review, when you were selecting the Windows Server download, right? The, the format or the version and the language, if you scroll down here, there are some guidelines that are important to consider, okay? And especially this one that says evaluation versions of Windows Server must activate over the internet in the first 10 days to avoid automatic shutdown. Okay, that means that whatever virtual machine you use to install this Windows Server 22 version, you need to have internet access, so you activate, the evaluation version. So if we go back to our virtual machine, as you can see, there is no internet connection, right? Why? Because if you go to the design of your network, okay, you will see that this server is within pandalab.com, and it's going to be, within the internet internal network. And remember that the internal network does not allow us to connect with external networks, such as the internet. So what we are going to do is you can go to the machine menu here, you can go to settings, and if you go to the network tab here, our server right now is connected to NAT network, okay, pandalab.com, but we need internet access, okay? So what we are going to do is, even though the server is on, uh, we can modify or update the modes that we use for this network adapter, okay? for the network adapter of our server. So what we are going to do is uh, temporarily, we are going to change this to NAT and then just click on OK. So we are connecting our server to a NAT to the NAT mode just to have internet access for a little bit so we can activate our Windows Server 22 version. Okay, so let's just click on yes. And now we have internet connection. Okay, we have internet access. And we will just restart our server. Okay, just select the other option and wait for the server to restart. Okay, let's go. Mhm. So we need to now press the Control Alt Delete sequence of keys to unlock the screen. So I will use again the input keyboard and insert Control Alt Delete combination of keys. Okay, so let's just type the password administrator. So as you can see, while the system is still loading, you can see at the bottom right side of your screen that now we have this message that our Windows license, the standard evaluation one, is valid for 180 days. So now that we have internet connection, we were able to um, activate, okay, our license, because if we do not activate our license, what is going to happen is, um, according to these guidelines, right, is our system will automatically, you know, shut down. Okay, so this is a very important step. So we can just close this server manager window. Okay, this is the server manager application. Okay, and now what we can do is, now that our license is activated, we can just change the network mode again for our network adapter. Okay, so because if you open the CMD application again, mhm, Let's reduce the size of this a little bit. Okay, so if you type ipconfig/all, this is the IP, okay, 10.02.15, and this is the default uh, net, the default IP schema, right, that VirtualBox uses for NAT, uh, for the NAT mode. So what we are going to do is we are going to change network settings, and we are going to attach this to NAT network and pandalab.com. Then click on OK. Okay. And then if you clear the screen with CLS, and then we run the ipconfig all again, now that you will see that we are back again connected to the pandalab.com network or domain. Okay, so you can use this trick to, whenever you need internet connection for something, I don't know, maybe you need to download a file, you need to download an application, just go to this machine menu, go to the settings option, and if you go to the network tab, you can start changing the mode, right? Uh, for to NAT, bridge adapter, internal network. It's like it's similar to what we do in a physical environment, right? We can connect our device to any type of network. This is what we are doing here. You can start changing all the modes and selecting the right network uh, you want to get connected to. Okay, perfect. So now we are back again in pandalab.com. Thank you for watching this video.